Aye, if you haven't heard the story that I recorded of Perseus and Medusa yet, stop this and go and listen to the story of Perseus and Medusa first, because this story follows afterwards. Right, this one's called The Magic Head. The wind blew and the lightning flashed, and Perseus was blown this way and that, through thunder and clouds and rain, till he didn't know which way was up. He clutched his precious bag with one hand, and his cap of invisibility with the other, and prayed to Zeus to save him, but Zeus had sent the storm on purpose. As soon as Perseus was over the coast of Ethiopia, the wind died, and the sun came out in a sky as blue as Delphiniums. Looking down, he saw a great rock. Something was moving on top of it, and Perseus flew down to have a closer look. There, chained to a post, was the loveliest girl he'd ever seen. "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" he asked as he landed and took off his cap. The girl screamed as he appeared, but when he'd calmed her down, she told him that she was called Andromeda, and she was the daughter of the king and queen, and that she'd been left as a sacrifice to Poseidon, the god of the sea, whom her mother had offended. "Run for your life," she said. "A monster's coming to eat me up, and if you stay here, you will be killed as well." But Perseus had fallen in love with Andromeda, and was determined to save her if he could. So he hid behind a rock and waited. Soon a great roiling and boiling in the sea started, and a huge warty head appeared, with trails of seaweed and slime hanging from it. The monster opened its mouth and showed its teeth, each one as long as a man's arm. As Andromeda cowered away, Perseus ran forward with his magic sword and plunged it into the creature's throat. It nearly bit his arm off as it reared away, roaring and pouring blood into the water. With the monster dead, Perseus cut through Andromeda's chains, and they flew to her father's palace. The king and queen were surprised and delighted to see their daughter alive, and agreed that Perseus could marry her at once. But just then in came a man who had been engaged to Andromeda before she'd gone off to be sacrificed. He was furious at the king and queen's decision, and rushed at Perseus with his sword raised. Perseus whipped Medusa's head out of his bag, and in a trice the man was turned to stone. Andromeda and Perseus returned to Seriphos, but Danae was nowhere to be found. The king of Seriphos had tried to marry her again, and she'd gone into hiding. "How dare he annoy my mother?" roared Perseus, and he marched into the throne room and thrust Medusa's head into the king's surprised face, turning him to stone at once. The people of Seriphos were happy, because the king had been cruel to all of them. His stone body was thrown into the harbour. I hope you can see the picture there. And Perseus and Andromeda were crowned king and queen in his place. Daniel came out of hiding, and the joyful hugging and feasting and laughter went on for weeks and weeks. Perseus soon gave Medusa's head and the other magical things back to the gods who'd helped him, and he was so happy that he vowed never to go on any adventures again. But if you explore the stories of the Greek myths, there are hundreds and hundreds of different adventures and wonderful tales. Try popping along to the library, see if you can get a copy of the Greek myths. You never know, it might just be the start of a wonderful adventure.